Welcome to KW Connect Agents in Action. And we're going to watch Nikki Ubaldini do the buyer consultation. Nikki and Gary Ubaldini have the Nikki and Gary team in Clearwater, Florida, and in 2005, they earned $1.6 million in commissions with 241 closed transactions. Nikki has built a high-performance team of buyer specialists. Let's watch as Nikki does her buyer consultation.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
Hi, Nikki. I'm excited about this.
Oh, I'm really glad you could make it today.
Thanks.
Now, I'd like to share something with you before we get started.
Okay.
I'd like to share with you the mission of the Gary and Nikki team. And our mission is to help you achieve your goals and exceed your expectations so you would never hesitate to refer us to your friends, family, or coworkers.
Sounds good.
Oh, that sounds great. Now, one of three things is going to happen at the end of our meeting.
Okay.
One, you're going to understand all the benefits that our team can provide to you, and you're going to choose to hire us.
Okay.
And that would be great. Mm-hmm. Two, well, you may not understand all the benefits our team can provide to you, and you may choose not to hire us. To be quite honest, that wouldn't be so great.
Okay.
Or three, unfortunately, I may have to choose not to represent you in the purchase of your next home. Is that a fair assessment?
Okay. Tell me more about that third one.
Well, remember I told you my mission was to help you achieve your goals and exceed your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If at any time today I feel that I can't achieve your goals or exceed your expectations, I would rather turn you down now than let you down later, and we can part friends. Does that sound good to you?
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, Rebecca.
All right.
Are you ready?
I think so.
These are the really tough questions.
Okay.
Not really, but it's the fun stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions. The first thing I'm going to talk about is about the actual transaction, what's going to happen in the process.
All right.
The second part is about the house. So we're not going to talk about exactly what it is you want in the house yet, but we're going to talk about the transaction. Okay?
Good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not very good at all, 10 being absolutely awesome,
Okay.
what one thing has to happen during this process for it to be a 10 for you?
I'd like to get into a home by Christmas.
And why is that important to you?
I just want to have my family settled. I want to know where I'm going to be, get the tree up, just not have to deal with movers at that family time of the year.
Okay, terrific. So if we could add one more thing to make it a 10 plus, what would that be?
Get my price, stay within budget for the home.
Why is that important to you?
Well, I don't want to strap myself. So I'd like to stay around, 250, something like that.
Okay.
I can be a little flexible, but I'd really like to get my price if I can.
Okay, so 250s is where we want to stay in. Mm-hmm. That would be the magic numbers, what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Okay. And if we could add one more thing to make it a 10 plus plus, what would that be?
No hassles during the process. Just
Okay.
a smooth, easy process.
Why is that important?
I'm a busy person. I'm a working single mom, and I just don't have a lot of time for running around and dealing with difficult negotiations or difficult sellers and that kind of thing.
Describe for me what you mean by difficult negotiations or difficult
Well, I don't know.
sellers.
I just this is my first home, so I'm not sure, but I hear some horror stories out there that you fall in love with a home and then things go sour at the negotiation table, or you end up paying a lot more than you wanted to, or you have to make concessions because of problems with inspections, and I just hear horror stories.
Okay. So you just want it to be smooth and easy, right?
Yes, I'd like that.
Okay.
If we can
Let
do
us
it.
take on the stress for you. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right, Rebecca. Let's talk about the house now.
Okay, good.
All right? This is the fun part, right? Here's the deal, though. You're only going to get 3 have-to-haves. We can have lots of wants, but we're going to have 3 have-to-haves.
Okay.
Okay? So on a scale of 1 to 10 again, 1 being not so great, 10 being everything you want, what does your new house have to have and or be for it to be a 10?
3-bedroom.
And why is that important to you?
I want a room for myself, a room for my daughter, and a guest room.
Okay.
If it had 4, that would be great, because I could have a home office.
But 3 is an absolute
But
must.
yes.
4 would be nice.
4 would be nice. 3 is a must, because I often have visitors.
Okay. If we could add one more thing to make this house even better, a 10 plus, what would that be?
Walking distance from an elementary school
Okay, and why is that important?
for my daughter.
Okay. And describe for me what you mean by walking distance.
That I could walk her there in the mornings, before I head off to work, or that she could walk with friends or other parents back home after. So, a few blocks.
Few blocks.
Something that a child could handle.
Okay. Well, it's different, isn't it? Okay. And how old is your little girl again?
She is a toddler now.
Okay.
So I'm looking ahead towards the elementary years.
Okay. Well, I can appreciate that. All right. And now we get to add one more thing. Now, this is the 10 plus plus thing.
Okay.
What is that?
A nice yard, a nice fenced yard that doesn't have a big deck off the back.
Does not?
Well, not a high deck.
Okay.
I'm afraid of my daughter running outside and falling off a deck or something.
Okay.
So something with sort of a level yard,
Okay.
nice big yard, but level off the backside.
Okay. And why
I
is
know
that
we've got a lot of
important?
hills here
Yeah,
where
we
we
do.
are, so.
And why is that important to you?
Well, I just think her safety, and so I can look out the window and see her playing.
Okay. Now, I want you to describe for me what you mean by nice big yard.
Okay. She loves dogs. We don't have one yet, but we will. I see that in our future. So, some running space for a dog, so a small, playscape or swing set or something
So swing set.
for my daughter. But I like landscaping, but I don't want it to consume my life.
Okay.
So I don't want it to be acreage or anything like that.
Okay, so maybe an average size lot or a little larger. That's
Maybe
got the house isn't set back
Quarter,
too far.
no more than a quarter acre, maybe.
Okay. All right. Those are all very important things. Now we're going to get to the wants in just a minute,
Okay.
but I have a few more questions that are really
Okay.
really important. First question is how does somebody win with you?
Honesty.
Honesty. What else?
Integrity.
What else?
And a sort of sense of humor or a good personality. I like to have fun with, even if I'm working.
Okay. Anything else?
Those are the big ones.
Okay. Nothing else.
No, I'm sure there's more. Communication.
Communication. Describe for me what you mean by communication.
I like to be informed. So I like to know what's going on in the process, even if somebody else is handling it. Maybe I like to know what's going on.
When you say informed, do you describe for me what you mean by that?
If we've put in an offer on a home, I want to know where we stand in the process. Have the seller's been informed of that?
So a call
sort of
every
what's-
day, or when I have something to tell you, or
yes,
just because?
when you have something to tell me. When
Okay.
you have something to tell me. I mean, I'm going to trust that you know what you're doing, and you just tell me when I need to be involved. But
Okay.
but I like to follow along. I'm interested in the process.
Okay. Anything else in how somebody wins with you?
Well, more on communication. I love emails, phone calls, text message, all of the above. So
Okay.
any of those would be good for me.
Anything else?
I already said honesty, right? Those are the key ones.
Well, we can come back if you think of them.
Okay.
Now, how does somebody lose with you?
Dishonesty or trying to be sly or keep things from me, or maybe out for themselves and not keeping my interests and my daughter's interests at the forefront.
Okay. What else?
I think communication breakdown.
Okay.
I think there has to be a level of respect,
Okay.
mutual respect for each other as professionals and busy people and
Okay.
parents and whatever we have in common.
Okay. Anything else you can think of? How somebody would lose with you?
Dishonesty would be a big one. Those are the main ones.
Okay. All right. Now here's my last two questions.
Okay.
They're really tough.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What do you feel you have the right to expect from me as your realtor?
I think I have a right to ask you to do a thorough job for me, to know your market, to know what's out there, to help me narrow that field. I've got some good ideas, but I need help. To be courteous to me, to the sellers, to other people involved in the process. To help me get a good price and get something of value. Get a home that I'll be proud of. And that I don't want to think about moving, but that has resale value.
Okay. What do you feel I have the right to expect from you as my client?
Okay. For me to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
For me to communicate with you
Mm-hmm.
when I have questions or issues or I'm excited and so forth. I want to be able to communicate honestly, but you know as a professional how to use that information to help me instead of hurting me.
Okay.
To make this process fun
Okay.
and pleasant, painless, smooth.
Okay. Anything else you feel I have a right to expect from you?
That I'll be honest with you, that I'll be open with you, and
Okay.
and I'll let you know if something's going wrong.
Okay. That sounds great.
Okay.
That's terrific. Now, Rebecca, we make 100% commitment to our clients. And all we ask is that they make 100% commitment to us. How do you feel about that?
Well, what do you mean by 100%? What's involved in the commitment?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go above and beyond for you. We're going to make sure that that you're going to receive all the best care, that you're going to find the house that suits your needs. And we want to make sure that you know that we will give you that commitment. And all we ask is that you give us that commitment in return. I don't know if you're aware that National Association of Realtors states that only 35% of the for sale by owners that are actually sold go to the closing table. And only 75% of the realtor transactions actually go to the closing table.
Wow.
Now, I can assure you that's not going to happen when you work with us. Because you see, we have systems and policies in place to ensure that you're going to get to the closing table.
Okay.
As long as something unforeseen happens, such as a tragedy or something in the weather or something like that. But when it comes to us doing our job and you doing yours, that's what we want to do.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Yes.
Well, what I like to do is I like to have an agreement of loyalty.
Okay.
This is my agreement of loyalty.
All right.
And all it is saying that we're going to work together, that you would like me to work in your best interest, and that you're going to deal with me honestly and fairly, and I'm going to do the same to you. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Okay, let me just fill it in here. We're going to put your name here. Spell your last name for me again.
John, John.
Okay. All right. And when was it again that you wanted to be in your new home by?
Christmas. if I
Okay,
can
so
do it.
we're going to say by December 24th. How does that sound?
Okay.
So we're going to date this
From today until December 24th.
Is that all right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. And we're going to look for a single family, correct?
Right.
And what is the absolute top price that we want to be in?
I really would like to stay with $250.
$250.
I really would.
Would you push yourself any higher than that?
Maybe, if it was just absolutely fantastic.
So possibly to $260? Okay. Let's just say top end $260.
Okay.
Okay. But we want to put our bottom end somewhere about $225. Is that all right?
Okay, yes.
Okay. We're going to be in this county. Okay. Now, let me just share with you what this states.
Okay.
Here's the broker's obligations, and basically is to deal with you honestly and fairly, to help you with your financing options, to make sure you understand the contract, to negotiate on your behalf, and of
Okay.
course just to make sure that I'm looking out for your best interest at all times. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Now, of course, I'm going to want you to read this, but I'm
Right.
just going to give you in layman's terms.
Okay.
Now, your job is basically the same thing. Just to be honest with me, upfront with me, be loyal to me, and that's all I'm going to ask you to do. If there's something you don't like, talk to me about it. If you don't like the houses, that's okay. They're not mine.
Okay.
And my job is to help you get through this process. Sound fair? Terrific. So now you know what your obligation is and what my obligation is, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, there's a few things you do need to know. A couple things. First thing is that I could charge a retainer fee for you to have my services, but you know what? I don't feel I deserve to be paid until I've actually completed the process. Sound
Okay.
fair? So I'm going to make this as a zero for you. We're not
Okay.
going to charge you anything. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay.
Until what time?
Until the time it closes, but then you're not going to pay.
Okay.
Isn't that exciting?
Right. What
This
do
is
you mean?
this takes us right into the next section.
Okay.
And it talks about how we get paid. And right here, we're going to fill in what our percentage is.
Okay.
And what this states is that you're allowing us to represent you in the purchase of your next home, and that we are going to ask the seller to pay this fee to ourselves.
Okay.
Now, typically, understand when a property is in a multiple listing service, the seller's already agreed to pay a fee. So you don't need to worry about it. Typically, builders have already agreed to pay a fee. And in most cases, most for sale by owners will pay a fee as well. In
Okay.
fact, I've never had a situation where they haven't.
Okay.
Now, remember, that's because we represent you, but they're going to be paying the fee. Sounds pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it does. I didn't know that. Good.
Now, the only thing you need to be aware of, though, is if you go out and you look at houses without me, or you start negotiating without me, and then the seller says they don't want to pay my fee because they didn't realize I was part of the transaction, you may be obligated to pay that fee at that time. Can you understand how that could be a problem?
Okay, right. I understand.
So basically what this means is that, we're going to kind of be in an engagement period, if you know what I mean, okay? And we're just going to hang out together, and we're going to be honest and upfront before we make sure, I don't want you out there doing anything that might jeopardize yourself.
Okay.
Sound fair?
Sure.
Because my job is to protect you.
Right.
You all right with that? Okay, terrific.
Now, what if at some point I'd start to not feel comfortable with our relationship or the process?
Well, all I'm going to ask is that you give me an option to try to fix that for you.
Okay.
And if we can't, I'm not here to put a chain around your neck. I want you to be happy in the process. I want a customer that is happy working with me, and I'm happy working with them. And if for some reason we feel we can't work together, we'll part friends. Would that be all right?
Okay.
But just give me an opportunity to fix it first.
Okay.
Would that be fair?
Sure.
Okay. And it states that right here. It gives us an
Okay.
opportunity that both of us could
Okay.
actually, either of us could cancel it as long as the other party agreed.
Good.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, kind of like the easy out. So, like I said, this is mostly just to protect both of us
Okay.
during this process. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. And then, of course, the last thing here we need to talk about is the agency relationship, and you get to choose how you want to be represented.
Okay.
And we've already talked about that in the beginning
Right,
because we
I
had to go
remember.
through the disclosure. So, and you already chose single agency and
Exactly.
transaction broker. So, pretty much that's the whole agreement. All I need you to do is review it, obviously, take a
Yes,
couple
I'd like
minutes
to.
and read it, and then I just need you to sign right here where I'm going to put the X.
Okay.
Any questions?
Thank you, Nikki. This sounds great. I mean, it really, you explained it very well. I understand what's going on. I feel comfortable.
Well, good. I'm looking forward to getting started.
Good. Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Welcome to Coach's Corner. You can tell that Nikki Ubaldini has made quite a few presentations. The reason you know that is she's professional, she has high energy, and she gets the job done. Because after all, the close is just a natural thing that happens after a great presentation. So here's what we need to do. Find a role play partner and role play the presentation over and over again, just as Nikki does it. And then that way you'll make certain to get those contracts signed. One of the things that I want everyone to do is talk about the 3 things that could happen on this appointment. Number 1 is you'll decide to buy from me. And it's interesting because when you say that, buy from me, your head should go up and down because you're helping them make that decision. Or you'll decide not to work with me, or I'll decide not to represent you as a buyer. And any one of those 3 things are great. Now, the part about that is that you're doing a takeaway, and everybody wants what they can't have. She digs deep to find out what the people want. In fact, she asks question after question after question, and she controls the conversations by the questions that she asks. I really want to point out something. She really doesn't talk about how many homes she's sold and what she has done. It is all about the client. And as a client, you want to work with Nikki because you know that she has your best interests at heart. Nikki used open-ended questions like describe for me or tell me about. They are questions that you can't answer with a yes or no, and then she would go in deeper and deeper. She always approved of what the client said, like fantastic, wonderful, terrific, or she would repeat back what the client said to her. The greatest part about all of this is she controlled the conversation with all the questions that she asked. When Nikki brought up the fact of 35% of the for sale by owners and 75% of the realtor closings actually get to the closing table, what she was using was a harm's way close. In essence, you need to work with me because I can get you to the closing table, and after all, that's where you want to be. She made it fun, she made it relaxing, and she made it professional. In Nikki's presentation, it was all about the client, not so much about the house. In fact, when she said 100% commitment is what we give to our clients and all we ask is 100% back in return, what a great close. And she used tie downs like isn't it, wasn't it, couldn't it, shouldn't it. She was constantly keeping that client involved by saying yes, agreement, and moving forward to the close. Now, the last thing I want to say to you, and this is very serious, so pick up your pen and write this one down. Watch this over and over and over again until you can do what Nikki did, because this is a terrific agent in action who has sold a lot of properties to buyers, and you can tell why, because she's great, she asks questions, she controls the conversation, and more importantly, she gets the contract signed.